This is Kuro. Got a ranked game in my Shimakaze. Going over the matchmaking, looking at Double Des Moines, Haragumo are my primary threats. Loading into the game. Um, you always want to try to load into a little earlier than normal with ranked. Uh, a lot of times you'll have some pre-planning before the game where guys are basically laying out, where they're going. Um, that kind of thing. Um, and I'll be honest, this game, ugh, I was getting tilted early on in this game. Um, there's I've been running into a real good run of bad luck with just some really questionable plays from teammates, and I mean this is one of those things. CB, we spawn way over here. You want the team to go here, then to here. And the enemy team is just going to go here and here. By the time we get to B cap, they've already got 3-4 minutes of, you know, double cap points accumulation. And even worse, because the team's advancing on one axis, all of the teammates here, they get broadside shots right into my team. It's a recipe for disaster. Um, so I'm salty in my chat. They're talking like now they don't even know if they want to cap C, and I'm at this point I'm really like this game's done. They if my team can't even figure out that hey, getting a free cap is a good thing. I'm just kind of like, well, this will be fun. So you can call it salt, you can call it bait. Occasionally what I'll do is what you're going to see me do here in the chat, where I try to play a little mind game. Just tell the enemy, GG, you guys already won. And I don't know if it has an effect on how the enemy played. The enemy team did have a lot of really aggressive plays that really there was a lot of their own questionable plays. I mean, you look at this and we've got two Kerfers heading over here to C. Well, if you normally watch the games, what ends up happening, these battleships tend to snipe most of the game, and I mean sniping Kerfers, that's rough. And I mean even worse if they just try to push themselves into B cap, you know, that's rough. So anyway, I push up into A. I'm just trying to get some spotting done for my team. I know this radar is active. I see this Des Moines is actually pushing into the cap, which that's telling me an item. Their Haragumo's not here. Their Des Moines would not be making this play if he had a DD here. Now, I dropped my F3 torps 8-kilometer range. This guy's outside of 9 kilometers from me, but with this circle on the minimap, when I drop those torps, it encompassed the island. So I know that island that this Des Moines is going to try to shelter behind, he's going to eat my torps. And that Des Moines stopped pretty much where I thought he was, and I mean, this was almost a devastating strike. I mean, you can't miss like that. I mean, that was a razor's edge of just taking that guy out just like that. But the good news is this Des Moines is flooding. He blew his repair when he got into cover in the island, and now he's going to eat a bunch of flooding damage. And on top of it, he has no radar, so I'm just reversing into him. I want to keep this guy spotted, and eventually I want to dump torps back in here again. because we have a Des Moines that already died. Looks like he peeked out in this Kurfürst, advancing right across A is just nuked him. Now this is what I'm talking about with F3 torps and dealing with these radar cruisers. He already radared me. I was able to dump torps in front of him. He pushed into my torps and ate some torps. And his radar isn't up yet. My torps are already back on the way. And at this point, I'm just going to accelerate away and get some momentum under me. So if I do get radared, I'm a much harder target for the enemy. They don't actually catch me sleeping. And take a quick peek, and that Des Moines is already dead. There's no place he can go. F3s are just, they're too fast. Gone. Kill number one. Now I'm already looking at the mini map, and I'm seeing an issue, and that's this Kurfürst. My Des Moines is running for cover behind this island, and he's in trouble. I mean, he's got this Montana that thankfully he's behind this island, otherwise he'd be able to get some shots. But I need to close range with this Kurfürst, and these are can't miss torps. If I miss these torps, this game's done. Absolutely done. We instantly lose our Des Moines. Our Yamato is not going to be able to kill this guy quick enough. This is just one of those do or die situations, and you really need to, understand the fundamentals of torping targets. Right here, I'm on his broadside. I'm really close. I mean, when he disappeared, he was 6.7 kilometers from me. I'm dumping these torpedoes. I kind of think that this guy is going to turn like this around the island, so I let a little bit forward because the range should increase as he goes around that island. And I mean, I just duck in between these islands. I don't want to get, spotted or anything like that. I don't want to let him know I'm here. I haven't switched to guns. I've done everything I can to make it those torpedoes an absolute surprise, and gone. 6 torpedoes. That was absolute textbook drop. Honestly, if he had hydro, he still may have died with that drop. It wouldn't have been as perfectly centered, but he would have ate a ton of torpedoes. So I'm again F3 DPM, 32 seconds for my torpedo reload. I really want this ACAP. This Kurfürst though, he's a really attractive target pushing up here. Probably thinks that I won't have torpedoes anytime soon, so he's gonna push up here and try to get some damage in while my torpedoes are down. And I really expected this guy to turn out. Really did. At this point, they're 2v3 here. But this guy's actually turning in towards me right now. And it's kind of creating a situation where I don't want to step on this cap. I'm actually going to pop speed boost to stay off this cap because I don't want to let this guy know. You got a damn Shimakaze 6.3 kilometers off your broadside.
Battery low.
Why, thank you. But again, textbook drop. This guy, it took me actually looking at the replay to realize that guy actually detonated. Because that should have been 5 or 6 torps. I had plenty of torps to do the job. But he detonated, so rip my torpedo hit rate. But I go on ahead, step on the cap, try to get some spotting in, make sure this Henry isn't going to try to rush me. For anybody that hasn't been rushed by a Henry, fuckers are fast as hell, excuse my French. Um, they can be a nasty surprise if you get caught by one of those guys napping, um, and he's able to get inside your detection range. You'll have a hard time disengaging from that, especially if he has hydro, because he should be able to dodge torps with, a lot of these guys are steering gears 3, and they've got some real maneuverability to go along with that speed. So at this point, we've got 185,000 damage, 11 torp hits, 3 kills. Wish this would have been a little bit more, but hey, whatever. Um, the other thing to note, I haven't been playing selfish. I've got 78,000 spotting damage. I've still been getting out there and getting good vision for my team. Um, and, just, trying to do the best I can to make this thing a win. And I mean, I don't like what this Kurfürst is doing. We've got a Haragumo and a Montana out there, and this Haragumo, knowing what I can do with this ship, I mean, you know, that Kurfürst can be gone in, you know, probably about minute and a half, depending on how many torps I land, or, minute and a half if I just keep burning him down to nothing. I mean, um, that's not even factoring in the Montana, so I'm not wild about him just YOLOing right into the cap. Even with his hydro up, the Type 93 Mod 3 torps are good enough where he can land 1 or 2, and good luck. I mean, 1 is almost always a guaranteed flood. So, this is just dangerous in my opinion. I don't like this. It is, 2v4, but, this is sketchy. Fortunately, their Haragumo opted not to support their Montana. He goes down to C-cap. An argument can be made. Was another cap more important to them or getting a kill? Um, in my opinion, I think that a kill would have been probably the better option. Now, one thing to note, this guy is really low HP. I didn't know that at the time. You see him at the end of the match, and he's like under 400 hit points. So I do kind of see, the validity of him going to C. I don't know if the guy had a smoke screen or whatever, but sorry, dinosaur number 2 alt-tabbed me and kind of surprised me real quick. So there was a second there where I wasn't actually in the game. Um, but if he had a smoke screen or something, he could have, reasonably well went and, supported that Montana and, really done a lot of damage to that Kurfürst. And that Kurfürst still ate a decent amount of damage, and he could have got the kill. Anyway, Des Moines is pushing C-cap. Radars the Haragumo and gets the kill. So 185,000 damage, two devastating strikes, 2,200 base XP. This is just this is actually an exceptional game. This is my current max damage record. But the thing that I'm really kind of the feather in my cap is that I got this level of damage, but was still maintaining, a reasonable amount of spotting damage over the course of the game. It wasn't like I was just off playing, selfish, that kind of thing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the game. Um, Honestly, with the games that I've been seeing, I don't really I won't be surprised if this number remains. I mean this F3 torpedo setup. It's if I get a battleship heavy game that the enemies push, I could easily top this. Uh, the F3 Shima is just that good at this meta right now. I know probably a lot of people will find that unusual, but I've been putting up a lot of videos with how I've been dealing with these, radar minotaurs and woosters and things that just give other destroyers fits. Shimakaze, I seem to be able to work around all of those issues better than the other DDs. And with the F3 torpedoes, um, you do not want to be, inside 6 kilometers against an F3 Shimakaze with, Haragumo, Grozavoy. I mean, even gearing can be sketchy. Um, I've literally have lost count how many destroyers I've torped. It's I would say most of my kills have been on destroyers with this build. Um, and I mean it's also fun too. It's a thrill getting inside of the radar envelope and just torping the hell out of the ship that's supposed to counter you. Or if they're gonna be cute and try to radar you and chase you, just as you're kiting away, dump a bunch of F3 torps in their projected path. And I mean, with the closure rate, with them running at full speed, with F3s coming back at them, I mean, they have very little reaction time, and it's pretty hysterical watching them how often they eat multiple torps. Um, so and also, one thing to also mention, even if your torps miss in that scenario, your torps are pulling those light cruisers closer in towards your team, which means your team, their shots are going to also be more effective. So there's a little bit of synergy there that I like, and that's probably why I'm going to keep running the F3s. So, hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later.